Hi everyone, welcome back to the Sifra channel. My name is Amjad and today we'll be making Yemeni Shufoot. Shufoot is a Yemeni appetizer typically served cold along with salads. It's a combination of layered Yemeni bread as well as an herb yogurt sauce. Now I'm going to show you how to do everything from scratch, but I also highly recommend that you check out my other video which includes step-by-step instructions on how to make Yemeni luhooh. Now luhooh looks very similar to injera bread, which is an Ethiopian bread typically served as a base for many stews, both vegetable-based and protein-based, and you'll notice that they both have this iconic bubbly texture on one side and a smooth crepe side on the other. Now the main differences between Yemeni luhooh and Ethiopian injera is that injera bread is a little bit more sour, while this Yemeni luhooh is fluffier, more savory and neutral in flavor. So let's get started with the details. So we're going to start off with our washed and dried herbs. Here I've got some dill, some fresh mint, as well as some chives, and the ratios will be listed down below, but it's really up to you. I also have some green onions and one whole bunch of cilantro, as well as green peppers, the cool ones, and then some spicy green peppers. Today I'm just using regular jalapenos, you can use whichever you like, and one plum tomato. So I'm going to start off with the chunky vegetables: tomatoes, jalapenos, green peppers, and a little bit of the herbs, as well as throwing in some fresh garlic. Pulverize all of those just to make sure they break down really nicely, and once that's done, that's when I'll add all of the more leafy greens. We want to make sure this turns into a nice smooth paste so that it blends in really nicely with the yogurt mixture. For seasoning, we're adding cumin, coriander, black pepper, and salt. So this is what your herb mixture should look like, and just to give you a heads up, the ratios that I'm providing makes more green sauce than you actually need, but that's okay because this is incredibly versatile. You can later use it for marinades, put it into stews. It is awesome. You will be obsessed. Now for the yogurt, we are using whole milk plain yogurt. If you're gonna ask me, hey Amjad, can I use low fat or non-fat? Yes, you can use it. Is it going to be as good? I can't guarantee that. Anyways, next we're gonna add some buttermilk as well as our green sauce. Now when it comes to green sauce, it really depends on your preference. I like to be a bit generous, but I'm gonna mix in an initial amount first, taste test, and then add some more if I feel like it needs it. So the yogurt sauce is pretty thick right now, and we're gonna water it down a little bit. Just a little bit at a time. You don't want to do this too quickly so that you can manage the consistency that you're looking for. And what we're looking for is something like this. Not too thick, but also not too runny. We want the luhooh to be able to soak it up. Now before we start with the layering, I want to make sure that I taste it for salt. Luckily mine was perfect, but please don't miss this step. It's critical. Now for the fun part, the layering. We're going to start off with a ladle of the yogurt sauce and give that a swirl just so it can spread out evenly. And now this is really important. My luhooh sizes don't match my serving dish, so I'm just going to rip it up and make it fit as best as possible. It doesn't need to be perfect, and that's it. Really as simple as that. Then we're going to add another generous layer of the yogurt, making sure that we try to cover as much as the bubbly bits as possible. And then go in with a second layer of luhooh. Again, just ripping it up and making sure that it fits the dish as best as possible. And another layer of luhooh, the yogurt, obviously. And once we do that, there really isn't a set number of layers, but I like to do a minimum of 3 layers of luhooh. If you want to do a 4th or a 5th, depending on how thick your dish is, go for it. But the typical layers that I do is 3. Now this last layer of yogurt, you really want to be generous with it. The luhooh will soak up a lot of the yogurt. And what's key is that if you are serving this immediately, go ahead and garnish it. But if you're not, keep it in the fridge without the garnish. After you take it out, you'll see that you actually need to add more yogurt, and that's why we have extra. But in terms of garnish, what is most traditional are pomegranate seeds, some mint, a little bit of dill, and sliced grapes. So depending on what you have on hand, use whatever, but I went the extra mile and I got some pomegranate seeds. So you've got to admit, this is a pretty beautiful dish. I highly recommend you wait to garnish later before you serve, and by keeping this in the fridge for even 30 minutes at minimum will give luhooh the time to soak up that yogurt sauce. And again, don't forget to keep that extra yogurt so that you can drizzle it on before serving and then adding the garnish on top. Your guests may also like to use it as an additional top up once they're enjoying it. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Don't forget, all of the details are in the description down below, and check out our other recipes for more Yemeni dish inspiration.